Hello.
Hello.
Hey friends, you're watching BrainStormAcres. I'm Henry.
And I'm Irene.
We're going to talk about a few questions that we've had and see if we can answer a few things. We just finished going to the eastern part of Arizona to do some work with some friends. And how was your experience with Bev?
Oh, I had a ball. I love working with somebody who really knows their stuff when it comes to whatever the, you know, topic is. I've watched people bind books from scratch. I've watched people make all kinds of things. Watching somebody who's been working with something like upholstery for years and years and years, because she ran a professional upholstery business for years. There's all these little tips and tricks. Watch their hands, see how they move the fabric around, see how they fold things in, see how they, all the little tips and tricks. It was fun. I really enjoyed it.
And it looked like you might have been a little scared of that commercial sewing machine.
Oh, well, it's as anytime you do a machine that you're not familiar with, you have to be careful of the foot pedal because I've had the foot pedal on my own machine not work correctly and it can be a little scary. I have at least one machine here that would go through my fingers if I was not careful. So I'm not as terrified as some people might be, but I understand how much it hurts to get sewed. Yeah, that monster will sew through you because it's designed to go over all those thick seams and everything else. So you have to keep your fingers away from that. And the foot pedal, I wouldn't say it's touchy, but it's a different feel than mine is. So you feel like you have to be careful. And the foot is a walking foot, which I've used walking feet before, but it's a different kind than what I previously used. So getting the feel of how exactly when I was sewing the welt to hold the fabric and pull it just a certain way to get the tension just right took a while. It took about 4 feet. Then I had it pretty good.
The seat reupholstery looks fabulous.
Oh yeah, it really does. It looks awesome. I've been so busy this week, I haven't had a chance to do anything. I've just been keeping them clean. But we're hoping this weekend or the beginning of next week to at least be able to get a couple of the chairs set up so we could take pictures of them and show her, how cool it looks because she was looking forward to that.
Yeah, forget taking pictures. I want to sit on them.
Yeah, that too. That's true. We haven't sat on them yet.
They feel great though.
Yeah, they do. They should be really lovely. The old foam that was on there is about 25 years old, 23 years old, something like that.
I think that we bought those chairs in 1992 or 1993. So it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. So we got our money's worth out of them, and they're decent chairs.
They're a lot more than decent. They're a really solid chair for today's kind of furniture.
Yeah, in comparison to handcrafted. No, these are machine made, but they're solid wood and all that kind of stuff. So it was really worth redoing them. There's a few nicks and chips out of them from the last time we moved, unfortunately. I'm not going to try and fix all of that, but I will touch up a few things that I need to oil them and get them completely cleaned out before I put the seats on them, so that they'll live up to the gloriousness of the seats.
We're going to have to do a lot of refinishing on that wood.
No, there's only one that's really badly rubbed. And then most of the rest of it's just the usual, happens in 30 seconds dust that we get around here. And my plan is to keep some of them in the kitchen where the cat tends to sit. I'll just keep those covered with towels because there's no reason to have cat fuzz all over everything.
Now, you may be wondering what I was doing while Irene was learning some hands-on skills. Actually, it was a lot of getting the feel for the fabric and the foam and getting some tips and pointers on how to stretch that fabric the right way while Irene was having fun with that.
Yeah, and Bev has some cool tools too, and I'm a tool fan, so.
Well, we both are, so. Nothing better than a great tool.
Yeah, and that's what her special saw that she has for cutting foam is a really in that quality, in that category of great tool. She said that when she initially started, you can use a regular kitchen, electric kitchen knife to cut foam, and it does a pretty reputable job if you're careful with it. But when you're doing quantity, you need the extra precision that you get with that, because that's got a wide foot that sits on a flat surface. It creates a completely straight cut. It's actually two bars on the outside with two blades on the inside, and the blades on the inside do this. So it's like having like a double jigsaw doing this, except it's all smooshed rather tightly together, and it just does a beautiful cut. Beautiful. It's completely smooth, no chunkiness, nothing, and completely vertical. So as long as you have a level surface, right through it.
Yeah, so while Irene was busy getting some of that hands-on training, I was busy working with the other homeowner on some electrical questions that she had. So we spent some time in the greenhouse and in the house trying to figure out what was happening with the specific circuit breaker. And that took quite a bit of sleuthing.
Mm-hmm.
It was not something that made any sense what was going on. It shouldn't have been going on. I checked the breaker with the things I know how to check, and it seemed like it was okay, but we walked through how to change a circuit breaker and all the steps that you needed to do to make sure you stay safe. Now, the reason why I don't record that kind of work when I'm at somebody else's place is because I don't want to accidentally show something that I shouldn't be showing. I don't want to create any hubbub for anybody in a city or a county or town to come back and say, well, you know, we didn't know you had that there. And while all of this electrical equipment was permitted and everything was
all
done,
done by professionals. That doesn't mean they did it right.
There's still questions, and rather than go through the potential issues of creating a problem for them or me, because I'm not,
or anybody else that we help. I mean, because they're not the only people we've ever helped.
Yeah, because I'm not a licensed electrician. I'll work on my own home. I'll do my own wiring, and that's perfectly fine.
And it's legal.
Pretty much every place in the country, but when you get into somebody else's place, it's really important that they do the work themselves so that it's the homeowner doing the work, because that's the usual
rule. You know, you want to modify your plumbing, the homeowner did it. Oh, that's okay.
Well, it may not be so okay, but
well, I mean,
it's permitted.
If it's minor stuff, like obviously if you redirect your sewage into the street, that's not so minor. but you know, most minor renovations inside a house are totally permissible if you do it yourself.
Well, doing it yourself, a minor renovations, brings up one more topic. We've been preaching for at least 14 years that you need to be concerned about how your area is going to develop. Now, when we bought our place here 17 years ago, almost 18 years ago, we had the same kind of opt-out program that's available or has been available in some other places like Cochise County. Those programs are going away, friends.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going away very fast for a lot of reasons. One is the influx of the number of people is really going up. And the second one is people who are doing the do-it-your-own way are using alternative building materials, and they're not necessarily using them in the right fashion. So you can have structural failures, and that's going to be a problem when that happens. You could have electrical problems, and no matter how much it sounds like the county wants to be in your business, you should really approach them as they're really trying to do the right thing. For every single rule that exists in a national building code, a national electrical code, somebody died for that reason.
Yeah. When you buy a property, especially if you're going to get a loan from a bank, you have to follow rules. There will be house inspections, and there may be a necessary thing where they'll say you have to bring this up to code. We can do pretty much anything we want to do while we are in control of the circumstances. The minute the outside people come in, it's a different scenario. You won't be able to get a loan on a piece of property that doesn't have a legal septic system. They may require, we've seen instances where it was required, they took one look at the electrical in a house and they said, this has to be updated. It's not uncommon for there to be clauses in the sale thing that say this has to be brought up to code. Well, if you are creating a totally uncodable facility, your place may be not saleable at all unless you are willing to carry the mortgage yourself.
If you're going to move and start doing a homestead or trying to build it yourself, just be aware that life is a lot easier all the way along if you can meet the requirements of the appropriate building codes for your area.
Right.
When we moved here, we didn't have to meet any building codes.
We chose to.
We chose to. We didn't have to have any inspections, and we actually couldn't get any inspections, but we did have an inspector come in and advise us on what he would recommend.
Right, and he was blown away by the quality of the construction. When we're like, well, we're planning to stay here for the rest of our lives. We're not doing a build and flip situation. So our goal was to create, because we put extra ties between the 2x6s that make up the wall, and we are 2x6, not 2x4. And so we have extra ties at the bottom and at the top because we want those to stay there, and we're in a high wind area.
Hey, you know what, Irene? It's time to pick December's winner. I'm really, really, really delinquent on doing this.
Yeah, it's been, well, we're behind on, we're 2 weeks behind on everything right now, so that's the easy way to say it. But yeah, let's go find out who it is.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications because we're going to be doing a lot more stuff.
Yep.
I hope we're going to be able to get out a little bit more. We have, in theory, a sales event coming up for
Next
Irene's
month.
business for next month.
And we've had some interesting questions and on the YouTubes we've put up recently. And I think we're going to probably do a Q&A on that pretty quickly because there's a couple of good points that I had just sort of forgotten to mention. Nothing critical in terms of how to raise your seeds or anything, but just in terms of your personal health and things like that. Some problems I personally have experienced too, and what to do about it, basically. So
we'll talk about all of those things in an upcoming show. Be well, have a great day, and thanks for watching. We'll talk with you later.
bye.
Bye. Don't forget to brainstorm.
Always.